Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your favorite ever 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhat 3D printing related live stream with a guy in Canada and a guy in the U.S., one named James, one named Glenn. I figure if I just
never guess which is which.
If I just keep getting more and more specific, then nobody can argue with me. So welcome, everybody, and thank you guys for being here. I don't know how many we currently have watching. I do notice, though, that Glenn Hogue is back this week. That is fantastic. We were missing him last week. We always have to have a Glenn with one N around here somewhere. Oh.
Not going to make the joke?
What's that?
You're not going to make the joke about Glenn with one N?
No, it'll happen. So, that show, Superstore, came back now. It's back online, back on for the next season. And I was very pleased to see the Glenn with one N robot is still on the show. But
hey, spoiler alert, we haven't started watching it yet.
Oh, well, I won't tell you then that it's going around the store spraying like Lysol or something.
I mean, that's just a reflection of real life right now.
Oh, you gotta see it. It's the first episode, like wraps up like 4 months all in one episode. It's pretty awesome.
Well, because what's her face was leaving the show, right? And then they had to like pause her leaving the show because COVID happened. Yeah,
I don't know. It's really the whole how TV is working around the COVID thing has been fun. I'm really excited about the Orville coming back because apparently they had filmed half of the episodes beforehand and then went into a total pause. And McFarlane said, we're going to continue filming in the end. So you are going to notice like people's hair is going to be different and, things are going to be different midway through the season. So that's
well, AKA they were all caught up, locked at home. So they each gained 40 or 50 pounds eating junk food.
Probably. Yeah.
My uniform doesn't fit anymore.
The COVID-19. So how is everybody?
I'm going to start digging right. So I'm working on my laptop today. It's been having thermal issues up the wazoo. I was working, like actually working on it. And I was trying to figure everything was slow. And I opened up and it was thermal throttled. It's a 2.8 gigahertz that has, I think, a 4.2 turbo on it. It was thermal throttled down to under a gigahertz per core.
Wow.
It was running at 85 degrees C on all 4 cores.
Well, it'll be interesting. What is your plan? Are you going to like...
So I'm going to pull it apart, clean all the cat hair out of it. And then I've bought a thing of Noctua replacement thermal compound.
Okay.
And there's reviews I've read on this. So first of all, like it's still running the stock thermal paste. The stock thermal paste on a lot of these laptops basically dries out after a year and it loses its ability to conduct heat. Well.
The reason I ask is because mine, if I don't run it on one of those laptop stands with the extra fans, it starts to overheat as well. And that's probably the issue. And I mean, haven't had it long, only about 12 or 13 years now. So
have you ever cleaned the cat hair out of it?
No. I mean, I blow it out with the compressor once in a while, but
so you'll see when I tear it apart because I do this one every 6 months to a year, basically when it starts to get hot. But the thermal compound was like $10 on Amazon. It kind of looks like a birth control or what do you call it? Pregnancy test. Yeah. I was like sitting here in the box. I'm like, that's about the size and dimensions of a pregnancy test. I should say this one weird trick allows me to fix my laptop with a pregnancy test. It comes with this.
I'm a big fan of the Arctic Silver thermal paste.
So I actually went on Amazon to order Arctic Silver because that's usually what I get, the little tiny containers or whatever.
Right.
This had better reviews. And as I was reading through the reviews, people had been replacing the Arctic Silver with this stuff. So
interesting. Well, I'm a fan of their fans.
I don't know. I think they blow.
Well, sometimes they suck.
We should both be shot.
We probably will be after this. So speaking of being shot, I noticed today that the last 2 weeks of episodes were both demonetized. They were not demonetized, but they were limited, showing limited or no ads. I don't know why they feel these streams are not advertising worthy, but I do want to ask the the peoples, if you guys ever watch one of my videos, thank you. No, but and an ad comes up in the middle of it, please notify me immediately. Because
if you ever watch one of my videos and an ad doesn't come up in the middle, please notify me immediately.
No, I hate that so much. I hate when I'm watching a video and an ad pops in the middle. It annoys the crap out of me, and I swore at that point that I would never do that to my videos. But YouTube slides them in there. So, well, what did you do to offend the YouTube gods? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably said something a little bit,
Poop.
touchy.
He said poop.
I said poop.
Boobs.
Oh, so my back is still hurting. Not as bad, but it's still hurting, which is why we were a little bit late coming on. Plus, we were talking politics. But and
that's not an invitation for y'all to start discussing politics.
No, it started way early on, but it got nipped in the bud. So, no, I did say to James that I would love to be able to discuss it publicly, because James and I have very decent conversations. I mean, the name calling is held to a minimum, and no, we have very, very adult conversations, and it's wonderful. And the rest of the world is trash. So, but
I started a place where we can both admit that regardless of which party you support, there's issues.
Right. Yeah, Freddie. No. There's no reason to be sorry. It's good. It wasn't going to go anywhere. I wasn't going to let it go anywhere. But no. So, but I did tell James that I'm in kind of a crap mood today, and I'm tired, so I might be a little bit off. But just I don't know. I'm really thinking about leaving social media. I think I've had enough social media just because of. There's so much negativity. I don't like the way people treat one another. If you're here in the U.S., a very large happened this past week, and what came to light of it is 50% of our country leans one way and 50% leans the other. So regardless of what side you're on, when you talk trash about the other side, you're talking trash about half the country. So knock it off. So that's all that. So then we'll move on. Lars asked, am I done with Christmas lights? No, I will probably, actually, I don't ever get done with Christmas lights. Even once we light, which is always on Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, I still continue to buy and make and put things out all the way until at least Christmas, sometimes a little after that, but no, it is going well. I've replaced all the lights that go on the face of my house this year with brand new, nice, bright LED, super crisp white. So it's really exciting. And so I've been working on that for a few days now. And for those that you don't know, I mount all my Christmas lights to a section of 1/2-inch conduit, EMT conduit, so that when I go to put my lights up, I put them up 26 feet, boom, done. Which is what's that?
This is the worst it's ever been. Usually I don't find the cat hair until I lift this part here.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can get the camera any closer.
I can see the fan is a little bit dusty. Oh yeah. It's funny because I named this show the one where the cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag and in my laptop.
I thought maybe your laptop was the bag.
Gross.
So, but
I don't even know if I have to replace the thermal paste.
So I'm actually printing again today. That's 2 weeks in a row. And what I'm printing today is their corner pieces to put two sections of 1/2-inch EMT conduit together so that it's flat. I don't want to buy a regular EMT fitting because then it's thick. And this will just section two pieces together because I built frames to go around my windows of the house. So
I was framed, I swear.
well, you know, it's funny because the Christmas lights is a huge portion of why I got into 3D printing, because I needed custom clips and stuff, and you know, what better way to do it than to spend thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars and start a YouTube channel so that you can have custom clips for your Christmas lights. And
Makes sense to me.
so I have some clips that I've now been using for 3 years. This will be the fourth year. I have to think about, this might be the third year. No, it's got to be the fourth year that they've been out. They're made out of Hatchbox white PETG, and they are still as strong as they were the day I printed them. I mean, they're not brittle. They're perfect. So, but I did print. That's what I printed last week, with some more of those just to have a little bit more support. And then my fittings today. So what?
I'm trying to keep an eye on chat. Is chat not had up? Like nobody's put anything up in chat in 4 minutes?
A little stuff. Has it been 4 minutes?
The last message I got was only half is wrong.
Yeah. Well, they're all just mesmerized by my babbling.
They're all trying to figure out how to fit in their political opinions without getting kicked.
I'm tired because I didn't sleep well last night, and I didn't sleep well last night for two reasons. One, because I am still in a great deal of pain, but the other reason, and I won't say this so loud so that my wife doesn't hear, but I bought her one of those bed fans that blows the air under the blanket because she's a hot sleeper, and I froze all night. So we're working on a solution to that problem. Ollie says, my voice is so soothing. Ollie has fallen asleep.
Like sands through the hourglass.
Oh, but it's all good. It's all good.
I guess they put this tape here so that you, while it's under warranty, aren't able to get away with taking it apart and replacing the thermal paste.
Well, it could be, or it could just be because you move a laptop around and they don't want it to pop off of there.
Well, that's still quite liquid.
Well, that's sad to hear. Maybe all the cooling fell out of the cooler.
I think it's just the 5,000 pounds of cat hair that are in this.
Could be. Lars said hobbies don't come cheap. That is absolutely true. Brian Mulberry. Okay, this is good. This is a good question. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about
what is everyone's view on Robo 3D? So the first thing that I have to ask is Robo 3D even around anymore? I know that they had kind of shifted their direction and I think went more towards schools, didn't they?
Yeah, they were targeting the education market. I think they started purchasing other 3D printers and rebranding them as Robo 3D, and you're basically paying for their infrastructure to make supporting kids or supporting schools easier. Yeah, that's kind of what I remembered it to be as well. I still have my Robo 3D printer, which was an R1. Wasn't that a gift from one of your very early subscribers?
Well, kind of. It was actually a gift from Robo. But Mario was a tech for Robo.
No longer is.
And they let him go because they don't have employees anymore. And he was the one that went to bat for me and got it. So I don't know. It like the printer wasn't bad. What I hated about it was the leveling. I didn't like the fact that it drove the nozzle into the bed to level. Because the problem that I had with that is it has a glass bed, and I don't like printing on glass. And no matter what I put on the bed, it drove the nozzle through. Like I burned up a Gecko Tech sheet with it driving the nozzle through it. Tape would drive through it. So then what would happen is it would drive the nozzle through the material down to the glass, and then your Z was wrong. So just leveling on it was horrible. I actually gave that thing to somebody I know, and he has yet to pick it up, and that was like 2 years ago. So
I don't have any camera stare. If anybody's wondering why I'm just sitting here blowing my laptop.
easy.
And we should.
What's the special trick that the Robo 3D printers have? I don't know. They're a pain in the butt to use. The other thing that I didn't like about it was that it doesn't have a display on it. So like you don't really ever know what it's doing. And I realized that you can add a display.
Yeah, I think Jerry did a video on his original Robo. Did he? Where he added a screen? And he did put a fan on it for cooling, right? Yeah.
I actually bought this screen. It's sitting over on my workbench where it has been for years because I lost interest in that printer because I didn't feel like I needed to fight it. So I did have it sitting centered on the table behind me for a long time. It got plenty of airtime. But it was
not plenty of print time, but plenty of airtime.
Plenty of airtime, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, they were nice enough to give it to me. I was nice enough to give them some airtime. At this point, I was actually hoping to print my full-size R2D2 off of it because it looks like R2D2. But I just had it was just not worth the fight. It's not worth the fight. Now I don't know anything about the printer that they're currently marketing. But James is right. As I understand it, it was just being ordered from somebody else and rebadged. Nothing against those guys over there. I think they're nice guys. Met them multiple times at the different shows, but I don't know. There's just so many. Unless you're getting it for free or really, really cheap, and even then, if you like to punch yourself in the face. I'm really trying not to be negative, but I don't know. It just wasn't worth it to me. It was too much.
Maybe the experience with their new stuff has gotten better because, you know, everybody's getting better. That's the thing. Always room for improvement, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, like at the point that they're buying it from somebody else, you know, who are they buying it from? And is that a reputable company? And do they know how to make printers? And so,
well, we're pretty clean here now.
I don't know. That was a great question. Thanks for bringing that up. I hadn't thought about Robo in a while because I tucked that printer off into a corner waiting for it to be picked up, and like I said, it hasn't been.
So if this goes the way it usually does, I'm gonna slowly, gradually apply pressure, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna pop, and I'm gonna shoot the thermal compound all over the place.
What's the matter?
Every time I try to get the first push off of one of these thermal compound tubes, it's always like a little more pressure, and also just half the tube goes everywhere.
Glenn Hogue said, I printed a wheel for my trash cart a little over 2 years ago in bog standard random PLA, and it's not showing any signs of failing. Well, that's pretty awesome. How big of a wheel and how much weight are you toting around on it? I love practical prints. I love finding uses for stuff that you just, you know, I mean, stupid stuff like this. I mean, to go out and buy the connections to put 2 pieces of EMT conduit together are like $5 a piece, plus they're bulky. So I sat down today and I don't know, it was probably 10 minutes at the most to knock it up. And then it took an hour to print the first one. Let me grab it. And then I want to test it for strength. Like, it won't be scientific. It's just going to be like how hard I can pull on it before it breaks. Like scientific. But that's all it is. It just goes inside the tubing. Now, I did put a little chamfer on the new ones so that it wasn't so pointy. But and then what I'm going to do is once I slide the pipe on there, I'm going to take a punch and just dimple the top a couple of times to stop it from pulling out. But That's it. It's what?
I need to order an M2 drive for this thing.
What's that?
I need to order an NVMe drive for this laptop.
How are prices hanging on those right now?
I have not checked recently, but like when I went to build my last desktop, which was, I think, just at the beginning of COVID, they were like reasonable. I don't remember exactly what it was. I just remember being surprised that they were.
Yeah, I just read an article. I think it was either from Wired or CNET, but it said like now is not the time to build a new gaming PC.
Well, GPUs are a big issue right now.
Well, yeah, it's hard to get stuff. Prices are all crazy. So, and lumber, holy cow, is lumber expensive?
It would be. No. Not even a little grin from that one.
What? Oh, it would be. I was reading at the time that you laid out that lame joke. No, my car trailer, the deck of it is all rotted. Just in the middle though, it's still safe where I put the wheels. And it was going to be about $200 to redeck it. So I finally thought, all right, I'm gonna go get the stuff and redeck it. $450 to redeck it right now. So I'm like, nope. And I just made the comment to my wife, like during the holiday time when we have all the Christmas stuff out of the garage, it'd be a great time to get all the walls built because there's going to be a second floor in my garage just for storage, mainly for Christmas lights. And, 2x4 is a pressure treated 2x4, 8 feet long. And I'm not going to convert that to metric, is like $8. I'm like, there's just no way. No way. Polish Gamer. Hello, it's Oscaro 9015 from Rec Room. Your son will know me. Yeah, he was just up here, but he is gone now. I'm sure he'll be back though.
I like how that could be that's either I'm a friend of your son's or a threat, like your son will know me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. As annoying as he is online, it's probably a threat.
It is true.
I don't know if you watch his videos.
What was that?
I don't know if you ever watch his videos, but he's.
I watched a couple of his Minecraft videos back when he was doing that.
Yeah, no, you gotta watch him play. And I don't want him to hear me say this, but you gotta watch him play Beat Saber. He's really good at that.
Is he putting videos out again?
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I got a notification for him.
Well, that's because you unsubscribed.
You know what? I've unsubscribed from him so many times that might actually not be far from the truth. All it takes is forgetting to click the button again one more time.
Glenn Hug said it's about 8 inches in diameter. The weight isn't much, 2 trash cans worth. I wheel it maybe 50 feet to the road every week or two. It stays outdoors. That's still pretty impressive. I mean, 2 trash cans can get pretty heavy. And for it to be just PLA.
I never disconnected the battery this time around. Not that like if I was pulling RAM or a hard drive out or whatever. But this thing's ridiculous. So it's got a 2.5-inch drive here, a 2.5-inch drive here, and it still has room for another for an mSATA drive here.
Well, that's because you can never have enough hard drive.
That's true. Storage is what you need. Well, I planned this to be what I was going to work on for the entire thing, and it's now 4:30, and I'm putting it back together. I'm so confident in my work that I'm not even going to bother to turn it on before I put the screws back.
Of course not. That way you get to take it apart again.
That way I can burn another half an hour trying to figure out what I broke. And then the last hour can be me shopping for my replacement laptop. Laugh your cares away.
Yes.
See? I was about to put the cover back on. I never plugged the fan back in.
See?
Or put the fan screws in. I don't know why I thought doing something that requires actual paying attention was a good idea to do during a stream where I'm not paying full attention to what I'm doing. But hey, you know what? I caught it beforehand, so that's...
Well, if you don't have parts left over, you didn't do it right.
Every design's got spares. Just sometimes it doesn't realize it. They don't realize it.
Scott wants to know if that's a 20-inch laptop. Actually, no. Just James has really small hands.
It's true. It's a 15.6-inch laptop.
I amuse myself. I mean, somebody's got to, because nobody else amuses me. At least not quite like I do.
I've got dual 1 terabyte SSDs in this thing.
Oh, yeah, I've got to get Xander a bigger hard drive. That's why I asked how prices were holding up. I bought him a, I want to say it's a 240.
Well, that's not enough.
No. Well, he's got 2 hard drives. He's got a regular,
Mechanical
spinning disk kind, and then he's got an SSD as his boot drive. But, I mean, all he ever did on that thing was school. Well, now he's installing all these games, and it's constantly full. I gave him room on the network to store all of his videos and stuff that he's making, because, that takes up a crap ton of space.
Well, just do what I do. Don't make any videos.
Don't make any videos, yeah. I'm not sure why I store all of the stuff that I've made, but I do. But yeah, I got to get him something bigger. He's just constantly out of space.
So on this laptop, there's a screw in this part here, and there's this rubber tab that goes over top of it.
Right.
And so every time I have to peel this stupid thing off to get the screw, but I'm too scared that this is some sort of shock absorption thing that's critical to the actual design to just not put it back.
You should drill a hole through that.
I could do that. That sounds like next time's problem.
Yeah, I did. I replaced the screen on one of the Asus laptops from work, and to get the screen off, you have to take the bottom of the computer off and the face of the screen off. But what really got me was there's a screw in each of the corners on the bottom, and then inboard from there about a centimeter in each way, there's a rubber foot, and there was a screw under the rubber foot.
Like,
I'm like, do they really, like
that was put there by the Department of Redundancy Department.
Yeah, the retention division. Brian Mulberry said, get him his own NAS. Yeah, well, the problem is Windows 10 is like 100 gig by itself.
Well, it's because of all the phone home stuff.
Yeah, I have.
Windows 10 knows who you voted for.
I have a computer that I use it like a sandbox computer for trying stuff, and it's got an 80 gig hard drive, and it only has Windows 10 on it, and it's like full.
You can't even do the updates.
No, it hasn't been updated since Windows 9. Come on, really? Nothing? There's no Windows 9?
Well, I just assumed you thought 8.1 was 8 plus 1. I can do the math. I forgot to screw in one of the screws.
Hello, Paul Cumber. I too love Linux, and if I could get everything that I own to run on Linux, I'd do it.
Oh, you know what the problem is now? I've flipped my laptop upside down, and all the crap that was in the. I caught myself there. All the crap that was in the keyboard is now on my screen.
Oh. Yeah, so I figured out which cat it was that was getting up on my shelf and knocking all my 3D prints off.
It was Xander.
Well, no, it was Mayhem, oddly enough. But she had gotten on the shelves on the other side and was knocking stuff off. Well, I was up here one day. She got up there. And I ran at her, and she took off down the stairs, and I ran all the way down the stairs. Her tail was all like foofed out. So far, she's not been up on the shelf again. Because
I told you what happened with my shelves, right? Down here?
Yeah. My next maneuver is to use an Arduino and build a proximity alarm that just sets off a horribly high-pitched noise. And when she gets
if you really want to scare the cat, you get one that goes like up and down.
Yeah, warble?
Yeah, you need the warble in there. The warble copter. This is probably the cleanest my laptop's been because I happen to have all the cleaning solutions and stuff down here.
Glenn Hogue said, throw a 240 gig SSD in that sandbox machine. They're cheap. Well, I'll have one as soon as I upgrade Sanders to something bigger. But I actually think that's going to go into Zach's just so that his boots. Zach doesn't do anything on his but play. He plays Minecraft and Roblox.
We're now running at 40 degrees per core, not under load. I'm just going to launch Worm because me launching Worm is enough to push all cores to 84 or 85 degrees and thermally throttle it. And we're running at 3.2 gigahertz.
What brand is that laptop?
And Asus.
Nice. I like the light up keyboard.
It's pretty fancy. It's actually, completely coincidentally, it's the exact same laptop that Chris Riley has.
Oh, coincidentally.
No, well, neither of us even knows who got theirs first.
Sure.
We only found out that we had the same one because I was running into an issue with Fusion 360. It was crashing out, and I fixed it. And I was talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't run Fusion 360 on my laptop because it crashes all the time." And I was like, "Which laptop do you have?" And he's like, "The Asus FX53 dash whatever." I'm like, "That's the American version of my laptop. This is what I did to fix it." So he did, and then he posted in one of his videos and gave credit to me, and I gained like 7 subscribers. So, and then they all unsubscribed because they realized they don't like fat guys. It's freaking rude.
Old Curmudgeon said thought Chromebooks were spyware. Well, technically they run a Google-owned operating system, so they are.
Absolutely.
I say that as I have an Android device right here, and I know that they're listening.
Hey, Google.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Do any of you like AMD?
I love AMD.
And I don't dislike AMD, but I'm a hardcore Intel guy. And that's only because that's really where I got my start. I was an Intel partner for, I don't know, more than 10 years. Yeah, I was absolutely hardcore Intel. I didn't ever really like AMD, and I've never changed my opinion on it because I don't go out and buy one to even try it. As stupid as that is, they're probably fine, but
I think AMD is currently beating Intel in most measurements. And I think now they're saying that the new AMD GPUs are going to be beating the NVIDIA GPUs. Mind you, I get the vast majority of my information from Linus Tech Tips. So
well, and that'll probably be for 15 minutes, and then something else comes out. Like it's so fast. It's so fast how fast all that stuff changes.
So I know for the CPU thing, it's been like over a year, I think, since AMD took the lead. But the problem is Intel had the lead for so long before that they were basically just releasing really minor revisions with each generation of CPU.
Yeah. Well, and like when we used to go to the Intel inside partner meetings and stuff, they would be talking about technology that was 3 and 4 years away from being released, even though it was done and ready. And the whole reason.
Toss it in the bucket, boys.
What's that?
Just toss it in the bucket, boys. We'll pull it out when we need it.
Well, the thing is they have to stay ahead like that so that they have time for research and development to come out with the next thing. So, like they only release it and then, obviously they're going to ride it as long as they can and make as much money as they can. But there's always the chance that somebody's going to release something faster than yours and you're not going to be ready. So,
yep.
Where would I look for filament samples? I need about 15 meters of 2 colors. I never use for anything. Honestly, I would find the 2 colors that you're looking for and reach out to the manufacturer and see. Otherwise, find the 2 colors you're looking for and reach out to MakerBox and see what they have. Because a lot of times they sell their extra samples that they didn't send out in the Maker boxes. And it's a good, cheap way to get some filament. So, and of course, post in the chat what colors you're looking for. Somebody in here may have them and be willing to send you some. So,
and then the other solution would be potentially, because I've done this before for something where it's like I need a little bit of something that I'm probably never going to use again. I ordered a box of the 30 colors for $20 or whatever for your 3D pen.
Yeah, there you go.
It had a bunch of transparency colors and stuff in it that I would never use on a regular thing, but so I'm going to let this heat up for a bit, but we're running at under 60 degrees C and no thermal throttling. So this isn't exciting as playing Adventure for 2 hours.
Someone show Glenn the Threadripper. Oh, I must be talking about Glen Hogue because that's only one N in that Glen. Um, but no, I've heard a lot about the Threadripper and people talking about how great it is and stuff. But again, I'm a diehard Intel guy.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yellow and a lime or light green. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I might have a great light green suggestion. I'm gonna have to go deep into the archives, I think. I really have to get my filament. This was a topic I wanted to talk about today too, is filament storage.
You know what's funny? Are you serious? That was a topic you thought about discussing today?
Yep.
I literally sent Pooch a message last night saying I wanted to bring up filament storage as a discussion point today. Because our buddy Pooch, also known as Repcord, has a fairly cool filament storage option for when you have to have like multiple rolls of filament going to the same printer, or if you just have a bunch of colors that you use regularly, called the Rep Box.
Yeah, this is not going to show well. This looks like crap on camera. This is AIO Robotics. It's a little better on this camera. This is their bright green, and unfortunately, this is my only complaint I have with AIO Robotics is after a while, even in a bag, it becomes brittle. But this is their bright green, one of my favorite colors. So, and this stuff is super cheap. It's only like $14 for a half a kilo, which I guess isn't really that cheap, but you're not buying a whole kilo. It's only a half a kilo roll. So, what was the other color? Yellow. Oh my God, do I have yellows? What color of yellow would you like?
The good one, not the funking one.
Everybody sends me filament. Like everybody that sends me filament sends me yellow. Scott asks, is AIO still around? I'm pretty sure. I talked to Jens not that long ago. Yeah, in fact, they have the AIO Robotics Sample PLA pack. It's 28 colors, 10 foot per color. So how many meters would that be? 10 feet would only be like 3 meters. That wouldn't be long enough. But that's only $8, and you get a sample of like all 28 colors.
Let's see how we're doing. So I've got 4 instances of the game and a 1080p video playing right now, and we're running at 55 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to call that a win.
Yeah, but AIO isn't coming up. Maybe they're not around. Oh yeah, here's no, currently unavailable. I'm gonna have to reach out to Jens and see what's going on. It's possible that they are gone. That would be really sad because I really like their stuff. Don't go in there, cat. Get out of there. We named these cats Chaos and Mayhem when we first got them before we even knew, and they absolutely live up to their names. Scott said, I just got some Jesse neon green. Wow, burn your eyes out. Oh, Brian, yeah, no, I knew that you meant me. I was just kidding. It's kind of a long-running joke that I'm Glenn with 2 N's and Glenn Hogue is 1 N, like a serial killer.
Is he a serial killer, though? I don't remember.
I don't really know. I mean, he didn't kill anybody when I was around him, so, like, I can't.
I don't know. Pretty sus.
So, Yeah, no, there was three topics that I wrote down today. One was filament organization, right on the other side of here. Okay, so this is my stairs, and they go down from here, and they go down. So what I did when I built the staircase is I built an indentation into the wall over here that starts about 2 feet off the floor, and then it drops in pretty far because I had originally made it. Oh, Uncle Ron has arrived. No applause, please. Just throw money. I had made it to hold rolls of vinyl for my T-shirt company that I no longer do. So, but now I want to store the filament in there. But again, it's 2 feet deep. So I'm looking for great ideas on how to store filament in there and be able to get to it. I'd love to make like a motorized carousel that like brings the the film, like when you go into Home Depot for the wire and they have all the wire hanging on the thing, like they can just bring it around. That would be pretty cool. I bet I could do that. Might be a little much, but the other two topics I wrote down was master spool. I had made mention the other day to Rich that I didn't like the master spool setup, and I guess
you're a master fool.
Well, I've had issues with it, and like the main thing that I don't like is because when you get a roll of filament that's been rolled onto a spool, it's tight to the spool. When you put it onto a master spool, it's sloppy, and it sometimes pulls down into the side and gets hung up, and I don't like it. I never have enough master spools for all the filament that I have, so I'm constantly changing it, which is another step, which makes me not want to use that color. So
I use master spool only for black and white. And I will say that the one issue, because I liked the idea of a completely 3D printed master spool where one just basically turns into the other, like that.
Right.
Until I came downstairs while I was printing all that PPE, and I guess it snagged slightly on the side, and it basically just undid the entire spool. I came down, and it was just filament spooled around the spool holder.
Oh.
Yeah. It didn't end up damaging anything. I think I actually got it because as it unspooled okay, that it was able to still pull it off of the... But I was like, if I have to switch colors, like, it was fine since I was just printing everything. It was just the same print over and over again. But if I had to switch colors, that would make it next to impossible after that happened. So.
Yeah. So, well, the other issue that I had too, and I mean, it comes down to probably my fault, but one of the master spools that I had printed actually split. And like, it wasn't too tight. It went together fine. It didn't break where it went together. It actually broke where the ends went to the hub. And like, luckily I caught it before something crazy like that happened. So yeah, it was probably just a bad print, but again, I don't know. It's kind of a pain. I have spools laying here that are master spool refills. I don't use them because I don't like it. It's yeah. And then the fact that like when they first started talking about it, I was really excited because I thought, well, that will lower production costs. Therefore, we should be able to buy the filament cheaper. Plus, they were saying, well, like shipping will be cheaper because it'll be lighter. And it was like, yay. And then that's not the case at all. And if I'm going to pay the same amount, I'm going to get it already on a spool.
I think I save generally about $3 to $5 a spool if I'm ordering master spool refills, which is why I got into that stuff for PPE, because I was donating all of the time and material that I was putting into it.
Right.
As much as I like to donate, I'm not going to go buy $80 high-end filament for stuff that it doesn't matter for. I actually, so on the idea of the Eson split spool, I actually saved a couple of the clear ones that have the two machine screws through it.
Yeah, I only have one roll of Eson that I bought way back when I first started, and I haven't even gone through the whole thing yet. It's a very lovely blue. I just haven't gone through it.
Is it the baby blue?
No, it's a translucent blue. In fact, I believe, yeah, it would be. It's this It's this blue right here.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice color. But
I've only printed their PLA Plus, and I've had nothing but success with it so far.
I kind of backed off of eSun when I started my relationship with IC3D because they have issues with eSun. So
Yeah.
out of courtesy to them, I stopped buying eSun. But there was a couple of things back that I want to pull up. Dan said mount linear rails to the bottom attached to a drawer and make it easy to get in and out. So that makes sense for filament storage. I'm assuming this is what we're talking about. So a drawer option would be really cool, except for that opening goes all the way to about, I don't know, 4 inches from the ceiling. So I'm reaching. You guys can't even see how high I'm reaching. So that was pointless. I'm glad I got out of my chair for that. So a drawer, unless the drawer pulled out and maybe like, well, no, because I got to have them in bags because of the humidity. I was going to say a hook. So you pull it out and then take it off of a hook. But I have to have my stuff in bags because of the humidity. But definitely keep the ideas coming. I mean, no matter what, we spitball enough, something will stick. Oh, and congratulations to Dan on hitting your milestone. And I apologize. I completely missed the thread or the stream. I've been super, super busy lately. But I heard that it was fantastic and there was many prizes to be won. That's really the reason I didn't go is I have so much stuff. I didn't need to win any prizes.
I've been mostly out of the loop. We've had a bit of an up and down week. So Kay's in Sudbury right now because Kay's mom ended up in the hospital. She had gone in for something. She ended up with an infection. So it basically turned out it was a blood infection. Then after they tried to trace down what the blood infection was, she needed to have surgery for something. So Kay's gone up there to help and try. Like her mom, whenever she gets home, she's still in the hospital today. But it was an up and down week for her for sure. And I put aside a bunch of the stuff that I was working on because obviously family before anything else.
Right, of course.
But now that she's gone, I'm just going to get caught up on everything, and I'm sure I'm going to stay completely dedicated and motivated to get my work done.
Scott said, and I would have to print, store 50 master spools or be swapping coils daily. Hence part of the problem.
Swapping coils daily sounds like a poop joke.
There was another comment. Oh, here, Brian Mulberry. Have you guys seen the adult erector set that is aluminum V-rail and the endless ideas? I'm not sure I have seen that, but it sounds very intriguing.
I have not seen it myself.
Tom Lama said, send all that filament to me. I'll figure out some way to store it. No, I am very blessed with my filament collection. I only have it because I don't print anything, but no, I don't print much, but no, people are very good about gifting me filament. I have a large, I don't think it's up here currently, but it's one of those like big totes. It's like this wide that I bring empty to every 3D printing show because I go home with so much stuff. So the name of the company doing sample boxes would be these guys. That's MakerBox. MakerBox. It's makerbox.me.
Not to be confused with FakerBox. You shouldn't trust FakerBox.
No, and not to be confused with the Fun King box that comes with 20 premium chocolate candies and
whatever else we had lying around.
And one sample of filament, which I don't even know what I did with that sample of filament. I'm not even sure where it came from, but I threw it in a bag and put it in there. It was pretty funny. But yeah, MakerBox. And in fact, if you go to one of my MakerBox videos, there's not only a link in the description, there's also a coupon code to get yourself a little discount. Cha-ching. Yeah, the first time that I got MakerBox, man, I was hooked. I love MakerBox. Don't forget Josh. Yes, I have Josh's box right there. That's Alien 3D box. That's alien3d.us. Need to print some yellow TPU. You know, that Fun King Kid Whacker, fly swatter. Yeah, I will get to that. Right now is a terribly busy time for me. I really can't take on any more projects between now and probably middle of January. So
Yeah, you will.
Well, I will, but I said I can't, not that I won't. I can't take on any more projects. I always have a hard time telling people no. Like when they ask for help with stuff, I have a really hard time telling people no. So what I've started to do, and my apologies to anybody out there that I've done this to, what I've started to do is when people say, "Oh, can you help me with this?" I go, "I am completely booked until like late January, early February." That way I don't have to tell them no, but I also don't have to commit to doing it. I was out.
It works itself out.
Well, I was out working in the garage on Saturday doing Christmas lights, and just this rando dude stops by. I don't know why. He just stopped by to ask me if I had any like scooters or go-karts for sale. Like I'm like, oh, let me think about the go-kart department. But he had a Chevy truck, and we just got to talking about trucks. And he's like, well, I got an oil leak. And he's like, it's coming from here. And so I rattled off a couple things that could be, well, what would you charge me to fix it? And I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. The bay where my lift is right now is all full of like Christmas projects. I'm like, I can't do it. Can't do it.
So when are you fixing it for him?
Maybe February. Scott said Glenn doesn't print TPU, which is the problem. I have not yet ever printed TPU, which is why Tom went out and designed a Fun King 3D fly swatter so I can whack my kids with it.
Your kids deserve it, right?
Sometimes. Oh, yes. So, and then the third topic that I wrote down, and we can just mix and match these topics. One day I'll get better at doing the transition from one topic to another. The third topic I wrote down is how everybody should have yellow and black flush cutters. Okay, no, that's not really it. But I bought 5 pairs of these for like $10 on Amazon, and they're just awesome because they're black and yellow. But no, I wanted to ask anybody that's printed a 3D printed hinge. I'm working on a project that's going to require a hinge.
I did that.
But I don't want it to be huge.
So there is a secret to that. I can't tell you because it's a secret.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is it something that you can share being it's a secret?
No, so I said I can't. It's a secret.
So here's the thing. Like similar products to the project that I'm working on, and I can't share the project. I will share it in the end, but right now I cannot. Similar use like where they just mold the plastic and then the plastic just flexes. But anybody that's ever done that with 3D printing knows that pretty much the first time you bend it, it's done.
Yeah.
There is a certain creator out there that does a lot of these print in place models that pop off and fold into other things, like fold into the model. And we did them a couple years ago for the IC3D Toys for Tot drive. It was a robot, but like every third one, the hinge would break. So I was having to 3D gloop them together.
I'm launching Fusion 360 so I can. Oh, apparently I need to sign back in again.
Scott said TPU, but the whole project couldn't be TPU. It needs to be it really needs to be like PETG. But I mean, if you think about, well, here, all right. So I have this Raspberry Pi case because nobody's ever made a Pi case with a hinge in it. At least nobody good has ever.
Why am I helping you?
Let's pretend. Let's play pretend and say that this was printed in place with a hinge point right here, and that's how I need it to be. I need it to be like a clamshell like this. But I need that. I need the hinge to be durable yet as slim as possible. Now I've seen a couple of different hinge designs where people have printed them and then used a piece of filament as the pin, the hinge pin, which could work. I might be able to make it small enough, or I could maybe use a smaller piece of wire or something in there. But I just wanted to know how other people have done it.
So what seems to be fairly easy to me, and you'll have to play with your tolerances and stuff and whatnot.
I'm gonna full screen you.
Okay. So I'm going to start off just by making like a, if this isn't going to be actually anything functional. You know what? Let's see if we can make it a box.
Why can't I full screen? Oh, I can't full screen you for some reason. Oh, here we go. There we go.
Let's go 10. No, 10. 0. So what seems to be fairly popular for making a print-in-place hinge is, this is probably going to take longer than I thought it was going to.
I have faith in you.
Gotta have faith of the heart. Let's do 5.
Scott said, "Check out IC3D 70D TPU." Oh, there's a little bit of a touchy subject for me, but we won't get into that. It's very similar to Ninja Tech Armadillo, but much cheaper, a little more flexible than PETG, but almost indestructible. All right, I will get some of that.
Let's do 3.6.
Is there drama to be told? No. A few weeks back, should I even tell this? A few weeks back, we had made mention that we were working with IC3D about doing a giveaway, such and such. That was actually the material that they were going to send us to try out, but they shifted their plans for it and we didn't get any. So it's not really that it's drama, it's just disappointment.
Yes, disappointing.
They were nice enough to send me a roll of filament, like, you know, a huge roll of filament to do an upcoming project. So I don't have any ill feelings against them. It's just disappointed. Just gonna take long.
Yes.
Would it have been faster to just tell me what the secret is?
You can't know what the secret is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Well, Curmudgeon said, trying to make that look easy, James?
Yes. Keep tools.
So should I grief Ryan? No, leave Ryan alone. It's all fine.
Why is it not highlighting this piece?
I will just order some and pay for it like a normie.
This is weird. I'm trying to select that.
I was letting you select everything but.
Like, did it join the two together even though I told it not to? No?
Where is my Chris Riley pen again? Oh, here it is. I'm going to jot that down. I see.
I don't know what it's doing. It won't let me actually manipulate this part.
70D TPU.
Move. Nice.
A little more flexible than PETG, but almost indestructible, which is what I need. That would work really well.
Okay, well, this is close enough that I can show you basically. So apparently the most resilient ones, essentially you, let me do this. This will make it easier, I think. Split body, do this. What's it? Okay, didn't look right. And this is body one.
Now this is for print in place, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which would be pretty fantastic.
So again, you'll have to play with it for yours.
Of course.
Did it join those together automatically? Because that'd be awesome. So basically, you have a peg coming off of one side of it that has a part that's printed on an angle so that it can be printed without, because like, you know, a traditional print in place hinge would basically, you try and leave enough of a gap that when it prints, it doesn't really solidify to itself. Right.
Yeah, it would still print to the bottom piece.
Yeah, exactly. You just hope that it doesn't sort of lock on hard enough that it can't be broken free. So instead, you print your hinge with a chamfer on it like this, and then the married part to that is a hole with the same type of chamfer on it, and then you do that on both sides so that and you would do like, you can do a couple of them sort of side by side so that they're locked to each other, so there's enough play side to side to be able to remove them. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So this would essentially,
I'll give it a go and see how it works out. Because again, the product that the idea came from, which I thought was going to work for my needs, but won't. So that's why I'm designing my own. I would think that if you open and close it, it's probably like a nylon, but I mean, if you open and close it enough times, that hinge is going to split. And the purpose of this thing, you're going to have to open and close it often. And chances are maybe one person in this whole group would go, yeah, I could use that. But other aspects of my life will have a larger need for it. I need this hinge for a key box I'm making. Well, there you go. Clearances would be dependent upon your printer tolerances. Scott, Christmas light related? Well, yes, actually, it kind of is.
there you go. That's the basic hinging mechanism. So then you would attach your two sides to it, however, and then you'd, so the way this would end up looking is we do a combine. Sorry, I'm a little out of practice on Fusion, or not out of practice, but a little rusty, I guess. Out of practice isn't right.
Yeah, no, I fired up Rhino for the first time today in quite a few months, and like I was stumbling through it. John Butler said, my printer tolerances range from 0.2 to 45, depending on its mood. Round it so it can actually rotate. Well, I think that's assumed. I mean, obviously a square block's not going to turn in there.
If you push hard enough.
Well, Scott said that 70D is like $30 a kilo. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, that's what I pay for PETG. So wonder if it comes in Fun King 3D yellow. I think you're just doing this now because you feel like it.
I'm a man on a mission.
We get the point. But now, would you move that Well, I guess it would depend on the design, but wouldn't
Why
you
do
want that hinge to be like halfway up off the box?
So the way I do it for this is then I do the combine here. So that'll be part one. I'm gonna say keep tools so I can make other copies of the hinge.
Right, but like the way that is right now, it would only. I mean, obviously after you round it, but it would only close so far. It wouldn't go all the way over because the hinge is down below the edge.
Oh, you're right. So it would have to be above the box slightly or whatever.
Yeah, it would have to be halfway above the box.
I think the last time I did this, I actually ended up basically placing so I created two pieces that are the same size, and then closed them, created the hinge, and then rotated it back on the hinge to put it flat.
Gotcha.
Right, because then once did this freeze? No, this is here. Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
Tom said, talking to modeling there, Glenn, I did start that buggy thing this week. Awesome. That would be the Megaforce buggy.
I'm gonna call it good there. I think everybody gets the idea.
Scott said, unfortunately, no, natural and black. Yeah, gonna have to start making some phone calls. Moral of this lesson: when you need a hinge, make your model and send your step file to James for hinge edition. James starting $25 per hinge.
I'm gonna Glenn's just gonna send me, this is what I want. And I'm like, oh, this is how I would model it. And he's like, oh, can you send that to me so that I can like take inspiration from it? Next thing I know, my model will be on his shop. Who made this? I made this. I'm gonna send you a couple of pictures on the Twitters, Glenn, that we can maybe show off for what I'm working on upstairs. For a while, I was thinking I was just gonna do the stream from up there, but then I'd have to clean the living room, and I didn't want to do that. So I'll send you this one.
I wish the arms of this chair were a little bit higher, or my legs were a little bit less fat. Because to have the arms over the table to protect my elbows, then my thighs are crammed into the bottom of the table. Oh, I'm getting Twitter DMs.
I just slipped into your DMs, bud.
Slipped it right in there. Didn't I tell you I'm getting off of social media?
You keep saying that, but I feel like you've said this before and you're still there.
I don't like what they're doing. I've had some of my Facebook posts actually be censored.
Were you tweeting fake news?
Well, I was tweeting what I thought was funny stuff, but I really didn't think it was funny. All right, so I can share this?
Yes. You can also take me out of being like the main attraction here because I'm the opposite of that.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, I want to make sure. Let's do this. Let's.
And then we'll pick an Atari game, and you can walk me through beating it. We'll turn that into a weekly segment.
Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we got demonetized last time.
Because we spent too much time playing Adventure.
Well, maybe because of copyright content. I don't know.
But there's no music. Well, no, I was playing.
Again, it wasn't. It was just limited. I finished it upgraded to the latest version of Windows 10, but I finished it. And one of your friends was in the chat earlier. I don't know. He said he was out to get you or something. Polish gamer. Oscaro 9015. Okay. Sorry, I was having a discussion with my son who I haven't seen all weekend because he was off at a friend's house, and now all he's worried about is playing video games. All right, back to what I was doing. Screen share. That one. Share. Boom. I like how they put that right on there. There you go. Do you want to talk about it or
no?
We're just showing pictures.
We're just so that's this is the in progress 2-player 3D printer arcade cabinet. It's got like 6 kilos of material in it.
Now, do you label those buttons? How do you know what all those buttons are for?
You just have to know. You either know or you don't.
Wow, I'd be in trouble.
And there it is with the screen installed. It's so fancy. You already know.
That's it?
That's it. That's to show how all the pieces, that first picture is to show how all the pieces link together. Then I'm going to go back through with the 3D pen and I'm going to stitch them to reinforce them.
How well does that work out? I've been meaning to try it and never did.
I did a lot of, I've done a lot of it on previous builds and it seems to work pretty well. I do it I never do it as the only thing I rely on, you know what I mean? For anything that's weight or whatever. But
like, okay, so you're still better off like 3D glooping it together.
So like with the Ready Printer 1 cabinet, I printed everything, I glooped it together, but then I used a 3D pen to stitch it to hold it to make sure the gloop had a chance to cure because there's parts that there's just no way to clamp them.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
I think I killed 2 3D printing 3D pens on that project.
Wow.
So
it's got to trial and lose on the buttons. Yeah, I really, 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 really want to build my retro arcade, and I just haven't done it. Again, I can't take on any more projects for a while. At least mid-January. Well, I feel like I got all my questions answered tonight, except for how I should store my filament.
Yeah, it feels like 6 o'clock just came at 5:20. 6 o'clock's coming earlier and earlier every time.
Well, I mean, with the whole time change thing, that's really been screwing with me too. It really messes with my cats. They say that animals know what time it is based on smells. Like they actually smell the time. So, and it's funny because like my cats have a routine. The Dottie, the black and white one, she's her and I play fetch every night. I take the hairbands, my wife's hairbands, and I shoot them across the room, and she runs and gets it and brings it back. It's absolutely hysterical. But we that starts at like 7:30 every night. Well, now it's 6:30, and she's begging for it. And it's like, no, you don't understand. Time has changed. Same for their treats. They know that at 8:30 they get treats, and now they're begging for them an hour earlier, and it's like, oh, you're killing me.
So Mika's got bad arthritis in her back legs. Well, the one back leg and her. So Kay and I got her glucosamine, and it's a powder. So we end up mixing the glucosamine with a little bit of water, and then basically mixing dry food into it. So Kay did that 3 days in a row, and she wolfs it down, and then. And it was at the same time all 3 days. Day 4, Kay's not downstairs, so Mika comes upstairs and starts going, ew, ew. And goes, what's wrong with you? And gets up and walks over to her, and she turns around and bolts down the stairs. So Kay follows her going, what's wrong? And then she walks over to where the dish usually is and starts crying.
Yeah, they know. They know what time it is.
Tool time?
Well, and then I got Chaos, my one cat. Like we have a toy. It's a I think it's a mouse now, but originally it was a bird on the end of a string on a stick. So it's just called Bird. But we keep it in this closet, and she knows. And she'll drag you to that closet because she wants to play Bird. Like she's obsessed with Bird. So yeah, they're not dumb. They're pains in the butts, but they're not dumb. Tom Lama said, store it in something. There's question answered. Well, I do. I currently store it in Ziploc bags all over the floor because it doesn't fit in that cabinet anymore.
I had somebody. So I have a video where I show how I used laminate flooring to replace my desktop because the top on this was garbage looking.
I remember that. Yes.
And I don't know where the measuring tape went that went in, but I had somebody comment on the quality of my measuring tape this week on that video, saying that your measuring tape had seen better days. It's time to replace it. I'm like, oh, I guess it doesn't measure up.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, look at that! I'm like 3 feet away from the. I'm 3 foot 6.5 inches away from the thing, from the camera. Actually, I never noticed that. This one here. Oh, I gotta put the other camera back up now. Here, just. Oh, are we gonna duel? This measuring tape, I never noticed this, has the current foot value printed repeatedly when you're doing it. So, when you get to this one, it's 1'4", and then you scroll across here and it's.
I'm 1,050 centimeters from my camera.
Oh, okay.
That's the only metric tape measure I own, and I only bought it to build the FK1. But I hate it because when it like it goes, it shows 10 centimeters, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then when it gets to 100, it just goes to 1. So then it's 110, 120.
I just realized I have to switch prints on this printer.
I guess I'm 1,050 millimeters. I didn't even do that right. I screwed it up.
You're bad at this.
I'm bad at the metric system.
You're bad at the metric system, and you should feel bad about it.
But I don't.
But you should.
I live in a country that uses imperial.
The Imperial March.
Oh, I almost just like hummed that. We'd have been. They'd have just shot us. They'd have just lasered us right off the face of the planet for that.
Literal Death Star.
Yep.
How long do you think it'll be before Google owns Disney?
Or worse. What if Disney owns Google?
And then they just replace the 2 O's in Google with, they make them into the Mickey ears.
See, they're already halfway there. Oh, my back is killing me. The chat has gone quite quiet. What is up with everybody tonight?
Yeah, don't make us do all the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, gosh, this is supposed to be an interactive chat show.
That's Fun King rude.
Google may be forced to sell YouTube, I hear.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm just reading what to put up in the chat. Hello, Cayman. Designing stuff while listening. I really got to. I need to install Rhino 3D on this machine so that I can design stuff during the streams.
Yeah, don't let me hog all the glory.
No, I just never got into Fusion. I'm already, versed enough in Rhino. Like, I don't use even a fraction of what Rhino can do, but it works for me. So
you can use it for rhinoplasty.
That's right.
I need to bring this upstairs with me later.
Oh, I think I need to go to the chiropractor.
Remember the Simpsons episode where they're talking about chiropractors, and he's like, I thought you thought doctors thought chiropractors are. He's like, oh, officially we do, but unofficially, my golf game's never been better.
Why do you like Rhino over Fusion? Because Autodesk is a conglomerate of the devil. No. I started with Rhino a long time ago. I bought plans to build. What's that?
So back when it was only in 2D.
That's right. Back when it was Rhino 1D. You can only draw straight lines. No, I was building a boat, and I bought the CAD drawings from the original designer of the boat, and they were done in Rhino. And I convinced the company I was working for at the time to buy me a copy. And that was a long time ago. That predates my wife, so we're probably talking 20 years ago. And I mean, not predates her existence, but predates when
Predates her being your wife.
Yeah, well, predates us knowing one another. But so I just started using Rhino, and that's where I am now. I tried to teach myself Fusion at the point that I was designing the FK1, and then I realized that was absolutely ridiculous. There's nothing better than trying to design something from scratch and learn a program at the same time. So yeah, no, I kind of backed off on that and just did it in Rhino. But I don't know. I might play with Fusion again someday, but
Do you know what's crazy to me? If I remember the story correctly, you know what the White Knight 3D printer is, right? Good
I
friend
do.
Carl. He, I believe he told me he designed the entire thing in 3D Builder, like the Windows 10 application 3D Builder.
Really? Well, yeah, I could see that.
Unless he was pulling my leg.
Carl hasn't been here the last couple of weeks.
Carl. It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. So I just recently, like very, very recently, received some bad news. Like in the last 5 seconds. We have 38 people watching and only 10 thumbs up.
Bunch of. I was gonna call them dinguses, but maybe they'll give us thumbs up now, so I won't go that far.
Is it really that hard to click the button? All right, now we have 12.
It's going down. What?
Now 15. Oh, you guys are restoring my faith in humanity, except on social media.
I have no faith in humanity.
So I have these cabinets out in my garage. They're, I don't know, 4 feet wide, 6 feet tall. They weigh like as much as the earth. They were like cubby lockers for the University of Florida. That's where I got them from. They were custom built by them for them, and they're heavy. And I decided that I don't want them anymore. That they're just not going to fit my needs. And I put them on Facebook Marketplace, like forever ago. It's been months. And then I've had a few people reach out to me and ask me about them and whatever. And my favorite is when you get the message, is this still available? And then you're like, yeah. And then they're like, well, I'm not interested.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. Okay. But today, just out of the blue, I haven't done anything to the ad. I haven't changed the price. I didn't touch it. Today, 3 different people, pow, 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 within an hour of one another. Are these still available? I have 2 people that are interested in buying them. I'm leaning more towards,
I'm not interested.
I'm leaning more towards one than the other because the one wants me to deliver them. Well, wants to buy one and wants me to deliver it like 30 some odd miles away, which they are willing to pay, which is good because my truck doesn't get very good fuel mileage. But the other one wants to buy all 3 of them and wants to come and get them. And I'm like, yay.
I choose you.
I'm not sure why I told that story. I guess it was because I was thinking about social media and how much of a pain in the butt it is. I think we should just go back to selling everything on eBay.
So I love how permanent, they call it permanent marker, and it literally just takes a little alcohol. And my name's been on that since I was 6 years old, a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And all that's left is JC. Or Jacka.
Well, if you ever have one of those situations where a coworker accidentally writes on the whiteboard with a permanent marker.
Yep. You just get the whiteboard truck.
Or you can just rub over it with the dry erase marker.
And then it all comes off together.
Yeah, and then it comes off. If you ever have a coworker that draws something inappropriate accidentally in a permanent marker.
Did you ever see the video? And it's a prank video from like 6 or 7 years ago. And this teacher comes in, and somebody's drawing this like elaborate but like funny drawing, right? And he's like, "You guys," and he picks up the eraser and he erases it, and everything erases except for some very specific shapes. And he's just like, and he like drops it and stares at the class.
I have seen that.
What about the one where they figure out that casting or whatever is enabled on the TV? So the one kid casts an image to make it look like the screen shattered.
Oh, yeah.
And then the teacher grabs him, like puts him against the wall. He's like, "That was a brand new plasma TV." I'm like, "Oh, that went bad."
Yeah, well, somebody did that. There was a video of that, and somebody's like, "Mom, sister broke the TV," and the mom comes in and freaks out and like throws the TV down on the floor and actually breaks it.
What about the one where the kid's showing off his pellet gun or whatever in front of the computer, and he accidentally shoots the monitor?
Oh yeah.
The grandmother comes in. She's like, "Well, don't panic. No, it's a mess. There's no coming back from that." So I asked her, "Can a TV like that be or a computer or monitor like that be fixed?" I said yes, but it's usually not much cheaper than replacing the whole thing because it destroyed the main mechanism of the display.
Yeah. Scott said, "Go for the one that'll offer you half the money to cash the check for $5,000. So many scammers.
Sir scams a lot.
Scamming.
I was supposed to have a video out on the Raspberry Pi 400 by now, and something happened. So I ordered it. I paid extra so that I'd get it by the end of last week, and it was all on course. It was going to be here by Friday, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, you know what? Actually, Monday."
Oh, I hate that.
Thanks, FedEx. And then insult to injury.
FedEx? The reason that it's delayed with FedEx is they're not done sitting on it and kicking it down the stairs.
Insult to injury. FedEx was here yesterday to drop off something that I wasn't expecting. So I see the FedEx track pull up, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe the software is making predictions."
Here, yeah. No, I don't have an issue with my local FedEx driver, but I have an issue with the company as a whole. And recently they sent me a survey to fill out, and they're like, "We value your opinion." I'm like, "Oh, I doubt you're going to value this opinion." Brian said DHL is worse. Absolutely. That's why they stopped delivering domestically in the U.S. No, everything that we get from FedEx, I mean, the joke around here is, "Oh, what broken stuff did we get this time?" And I hate when you go to order something and it's only available, like they're only shipping. Rock Auto. I love Rock Auto's prices. I buy a lot of auto parts through Rock Auto. Props to them.
Would you say they rock?
No sponsorship, but I'd take one. The problem being is they only ship FedEx. And it's like, and then, okay, so I ordered, when I was working on my big truck, I ordered radiator hoses, some other stuff, and 5 gallons of antifreeze, which was just about broken out of the box by the time it got here. Like the jugs were all crushed and stuff. I mean, I'm really surprised they weren't leaking. And then just recently I ordered shocks, which, shocks come compressed with a plastic banding holding them down. The bandings were all broken. They were shot out of their box, rattling around in the big box. One of them had poked through the top of the big box. Like, good old FedEx.
I blame you.
You blame me?
Yeah.
Tom Lama said, "Yeah, I hate FedEx, but got to say having it shipped from Germany on Monday and getting it Tuesday was nice." Yeah, but any shipping company can do that if you pay the money. I mean, for as much as you pay, and that's my other, you know what really grinds my gears? We need this as a segment. Why is it that when fuel prices went up, shipping prices went up, But now all of a sudden fuel prices have dropped significantly and shipping prices haven't.
Because that's not the way it works.
Conspiracy.
What was in this box? Oh, I just dropped some stuff.
See, this is why I like Best Buy's store pickup. I don't shop at Best Buy much anymore, being that I used to work there. I don't have any ill feelings against them. I loved everybody I worked with, but it's like I spent so much time in that store, like I just don't even want to go in there anymore.
Oh, look, it's a Pi 4 case. I didn't design this one, though. I bought a Pi 4, and it was on sale at one point for less than like the kit was less than buying just the Pi 4 on its own. So it came with a case.
Is that a can of kit?
No, it's a lab something. I think Labistis Labists Labists.
Tom said, not conspiracy, board member greed. Ben Brady, you're right, but not going to talk about it. Oh. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, fuel that they make today sucks so bad and it goes bad so fast, I would go out and buy a huge tank and store up on it while it's low. I like driving my truck, and I love being able to fill it up for less than $100.
Well, I like driving my little SUV and being able to fill it up for $45.
Well, that's how the wife's car is. I think we can fill it up for about $40.
Oh, it's a competition now? Oh wait, I mean
I said about $40. It might be 45.
No,
I'm talking American dollars. You're talking about Maple dollars.
That's true. That is 100% true. I'm just taking all the cardboard that I've gotten, putting it over there. I don't clean. I just move the mess around.
Is anyone pro Toyota? I don't really have a feeling one way or the other on Toyota. Toyota always made good cars. I know they've had a lot of problems lately. My mom has driven Camrys for years and years and years, and finally recently, it's been a few years now, but bought a RAV4. But
I have a Subaru.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think that there's like any of the automotive companies. I don't think any of them have the reputation that they used to. Even Nissan used to be a really good company, and then their cars have a lot of problems now. I don't know, but I'll tell you, and I know I told the story, but that day that I was out there working on my truck, if I could have gotten hold of one of the design engineers from Ford, right in the kisser.
Pow, right in the kisser.
I have an 07 Corolla, 122,000 and 122,000 on a Toyota is. My uncle had a late 70s. I want to say it was a 79, might have been an 80, but Toyota Corolla, and he did almost 1 million miles on that car. And what's really, really great is when it was relatively new, my cousin Timmy was riding in it and bit the back of the headrest and left teeth marks in the back of the headrests on an almost new car. And it was that way until he finally retired that thing.
I'm looking around. I'm like, I really need to start finishing some of the projects that I put a lot of R&D time into, and now are just sitting there. Like this, when I was building the world's smallest NES Classic, it's basically done. I need to do soldering to finish it, right? So like, this is what I came up with. This is what I designed, and then that's the actual NES Classic. So I was like, oh, it's so tiny and cute, the original, and I was like, hold my beer. I just never finished it because I'm bad at life.
Steven said Ford trucks are like Dan's printers, nice to have, but they never run. Well, knock on synthetic wood. My truck runs fine. It was just maintenance. Body mounts.
Steven, the light speed is here. That's
Now
super.
it's just the light speed.
I'm still gonna call him Steven the light speed, unless he tells me not to. And now he's gonna say something about Canadians.
Maybe it's not really him. Maybe it's an imposter. You all right over there, boy?
Yeah.
Into the recycle.
Oh, he was watching another stream instead of our stream.
Who was?
Steven was.
Oh. What's this about cats in bags? Well, you see, James's laptop, he's got a cute nickname for it. He calls it the bag, and he removed the cat from it.
It's true.
Again, when I pick the titles for these streams, they don't have any meaning. It is completely just off the cuff for the day. I just kind of randomly come up with something, and then we hope that it like turns into something. And it just happened to be that James was cleaning the cat out of his laptop today.
It's true.
Hi, Kay.
But is Kay in chat?
Yep.
Stuck in just at the wire.
Well, we're getting close.
Kay is like 300 miles away, so I'm
That's a long way. Yeah, life goes on. Oh, and then the sad news for today. Alex Trubeck passed away. Jeopardy will never be the same.
They said often pancreatic treatment, cancer treatment goes well until it doesn't. Essentially, it's
Well, I mean, he was 80 years old.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a fairly decent run.
Yep.
Yeah, people just keep dying.
Oh yeah, Alex Trebek is from the town that Kayleen and I were born in.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew he was Canadian. I didn't know that Canada had towns, though. I thought it was just Canada.
It's just Canada. It's now a city, but back then it was probably a town.
I thought it was like Canada and then Montreal.
Ah, yes.
2020 is a dumpster fire. Absolutely it is. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if I told this story, but
I set my dumpster on fire.
coming across my my social media feed
The other day
was this really cool little Christmas ornament. Have you guys seen this?
Are they wearing masks?
Yeah, they have masks on, and then it says 2020, and then toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So what's really fun about this was it was on Amazon, and it had a coupon, like it was like $30, which I'd never pay $30 for it. But there was a coupon, and you got it for like $6. So for $6, absolutely. I ordered this at the end of September, and it took, oh my gosh, it took forever to get here. It didn't get here for like, I don't know, a month. So, and it didn't come from overseas. It came out of like New Jersey, but whatever. Regardless, here it is. They probably had to wait for them to get here from overseas. But so it comes in one of those gray shipping envelopes. So it's broken through here, and I think through here. It was actually busted into two pieces. So I ended up super gluing it back together. You can kind of see the repair right here. I touched it up with a little Tester's model paint. And at first I was really mad because it's not like I can just go like, it's busted, send me another one. And it was only $6, though I really wanted it. But I think it just made it that much more special.
That's a perfect embodiment of 2020.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I almost just went ahead and left it broken and figured out a way to hang all three pieces separately. So, but it glued back. It's made out of that resin, but it glued back together fine. So
I just unboxed the USB card reader that came with that Raspberry Pi kit. So I'm going to put it back in the container. So I was looking at it, and I'm like, you can see it looks like a USB stick that doesn't have the cover on the connector, right? Like on the underneath connector.
right.
And you look and like, oh, it's because the trans flash card, the TF card, micro SD card rather, goes in on top of that. And I'm like, why would they design it like that? And it says Type C USB on it. I'm like, that's not Type C. So then I eject it. Look at this. USB C on one side, USB A on the other side, and the flash card goes in above the. That's some tightly packed technology right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the ones where the jack flips out of the way to be the micro USB?
I have not.
I'm trying to think. I have one around here somewhere.
Yeah, I installed a.
But it's a USB A, but it like hinges
USB
out of the way,
A?
and then it's a micro.
That's interesting. There, I installed a flash card in it.
Yeah, that is super tiny.
USB. I just realized I never started that print. I was like, oh, I need to start this print off. Didn't freaking do it.
Steven's trying to suck me into the whole political thing. It's not going to happen. I don't talk politics publicly. James and I talk politics privately, but we don't do it publicly because I'll hurt somebody's feelings. And I don't want anybody to have hurt feelings.
I have such a hard time not responding to things, though.
I know. Well, and see, I always have an opinion about everything. So it's really hard to not share my opinion.
You have an opinion about me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, you're Canadian. Jeez.
You are welcome. What else could I say except demonetized?
I have not used an Ender 3. I've touched one, but I didn't actually ever use one.
Steven, I hope it doesn't take you 3 months to build a puzzle.
I don't know. That last puzzle my wife and I were working on, that thing was horrific. It was one of those mosaic puzzles, but it was Darth Vader, and then it was 1,000 pieces, but the mosaics themselves were like a centimeter wide.
Oh,
it was horrifitic.
You know what used to be the worst? Remember when Magic Eye was a big thing? They started releasing Magic Eye puzzles.
I don't.
You know what Magic Eye is?
Magic Guy.
Magic Eye, like the pictures where if you stare at them,
where you stare at it and you see the other image.
You see the 3D image pop out of it. They started releasing puzzles for that. All the pieces look the same.
Oh, you're digitizing. I lost you. Am I still here?
You're still there. Can you hear me?
You're digitizing. Your audio's digitizing.
Just for you, though. I look normal on.
You are a robot. Beep boop, beep boop.
I look normal on YouTube, though.
I don't know if it's me or you.
For you, though.
Old curmudgeon said, can't tell here. James is fine. So it must just be the connection between you and I.
Yep.
I haven't talked to her in many, many years, but I had a friend in Canada. And back when we used to email and chat and stuff, the Canadian government had a limit on their, well, at least that's what she told me. Maybe it was her parents and she didn't want to admit that, but like she could only use the internet for an hour a day. Otherwise she'd get fined.
That's weird.
It was a long time ago.
I will say that the one funny thing that, since we don't have to specifically discuss politics to make this comment, there's been a lot of memes and stuff that have popped out of how long it took Nevada to count the votes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's all been gold. Kayleen's been living on them. It's been fantastic. Somebody tweeted, I was like, okay, y'all just start tweeting who you voted for. I'll count them out.
Well, and then something was said, like give Nevada a break. I mean, they are ranked number 50 as far as education systems go.
But that means wait, how many states are there altogether? Because I always get it wrong. I know this
50.
is really embarrassing. There's 50? Okay.
There are 50 states.
For the longest time I had in my head there was 52.
Well,
And
we also have territories because we technically own Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands.
Is that where I'm getting the 52 from then?
Could be, but they're not states. They're just territories.
Because that was the weird thing, is that for the longest time I was just convinced there was 52 states, and I wasn't the only person, because there was like an argument that came out about a group of us, because a bunch of us remembered it being 52, and then other people, like it was like 51 and 50 were the other two answers.
Yeah, no, it's 50, and then a lot of people get thrown because our map always shows Alaska and Hawaii hanging out, down in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I think they should divide California in half. There should be Northern California and Southern California. And Texas needs to be divided in half because it's too big.
I think you guys should just divide the entire country in half and split it into red and blue.
Well, I did make the comment that it should just be per state and we should have two presidents. Like if your state votes one way, then you have one president. But they should divide California. I don't know. When we were traveling, it took us like we had to stop twice. We had to camp twice in Texas. Texas is too big.
You can't mess with it though. That's what everybody always tells me.
No, you can't mess with Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas too.
Oh, I can't go there. I can't afford to get any bigger.
I think it was in Amarillo. I'd have to go back and look now, but we ate at the Big Texan Steak Ranch, and it's kind of a touristy draw to go to this place. Like I don't know how many like regulars go and eat there. It's kind of a themey restaurant, but it's one of the places where they have like a 72-ounce steak, and if you want to take the challenge, you sit up on the stage in front of everybody, and if you finish it, it's free.
What was the movie that had that? Was it Uncle Buck that had John Candy pounding back one of those?
That sounds right. Yep.
And then they just show him, and like for the next day and a half, he's in the outhouse.
Yeah. So, but we went there to eat, and like it's almost like a community table. Like there's these long tables where everybody sat at it, and the guy next to me, I don't know who he was, but he had a Super Bowl ring on his hand. And I was trying to figure out who he was, and I didn't want to be like, all right, who are you? But he had a Super Bowl ring on. So Tanner was there, but he won't remember because he was only like 6 months old.
My joke about Nevada counting is accidentally spawned political chat in chat.
Shame on you, James.
Look, it's not even my country.
See, the cat's out of the bag. Uncle Buck was a great movie. That whole scene where he goes in and flips the quarter at the lady and says, tell her to, go find a rat to gnaw that thing off her face.
I gotta see how low the battery on my laptop is. The battery is completely shot on it, but
oh, my back is completely shot.
I got 31% remaining, but because it hasn't been doing anything. I've got it downloading some update files, and that's it. I closed everything else down, and I've had the screen closed so that nothing's lit up.
Yeah, I bought a new battery for mine, but it was just like a cheapy battery, and they just don't last.
I haven't been able to find an actual OEM replacement battery for it, so it's going to end up coming from AliExpress if I do it.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Kay's been not pushing, but Kay's been suggesting maybe it's time to look into buying a new one. And like this one here, I got on sale. It was like $1,000, and it was like mid-tier gaming and stuff like that. But
And
it
how
has
long have you had it?
2 years.
Yeah.
I find that because I've got the first Acer laptop I bought was an Acer TravelMate, and it was back when. No, this is 15 years ago, and it was one of the ones where it was the smaller laptop and it was a metal chassis.
Yeah.
And so I bought that before we moved to Ottawa. Then the first year, so I had it for 3 years by the time we got to Ottawa. The first year we were in Ottawa, Kayleen accidentally dumped a glass of wine into it. So I came home.
A drunk laptop. Yeah, I've worked on a few of those.
Was that drunk laptop?
A drunk laptop, yeah.
So I was at a friend's place. So I said, just pull the battery out of it. Don't try to turn it on again, and put it like upside down in the sink, sort of so that the wine can run out and it's not sitting on the board. So I came home, pulled it apart, used electronics cleaner, sprayed everything down. All the red crap ran out of it. Put it back together. One of the memory slots didn't work properly afterwards, but I had a 4 gig stick, so I tossed that back into it. Got it up and running again. We used it for another 3 years, so it was 6 years old at that point. And then my parents had an old HP single core processor laptop that died, so I gave them that one. And they used it for a couple more years, and then retired it because it wasn't fast enough anymore. And I still have it, and it still runs.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I was an Acer authorized technician for a few years. They bought me a boat.
I was too. Like the store I worked for was a authorized repair place, and at one point they I don't know if this is just a Canadian thing, but they contacted us as a reseller, and I think basically they said, we've got stacks of ones that have come back under warranty as a business thing. And basically the business agreements they had with them was that if the laptop died in the first year, they would take the hard drive out, put it into a new one, and send it back. So you'd get a brand new laptop or whatever. And they didn't bother to repair them. So I think my boss paid like $50 a unit, but they were as is.
Right.
So we ended up with a skid of like 250 of them.
Wow.
And so I spent like a week just going through, firing them up, seeing what the problem was. And the thing was too, most of them were labeled as to what the problem was. And then he ordered the replacement parts through the authorized retailable or the authorized repair place. We put them up. I think basically the average cost came out to $100 a piece, and he sold them for $500 a piece.
Nice. David Randolph is in the house. Hello, Dave.
Better late than pregnant.
Yeah, for us, the main issue that we had was modems. They would come in for modems being bad.
Yeah, we had one unit that the modem had to replace 3 times, and then the third time we called in to get it fixed, the guy's like, "You're not even supposed to be pulling these apart. I'm voiding the warranty on the entire laptop because you've dismantled." I'm like, "We're an authorized repair depot." Because I start going through the steps with him, and he's like, "You need to wipe the laptop and put the original OEM Windows back." And I'm like, "It's already got that because we've never gotten back to the point where the laptop's usable again." He's like, "No, you got to do it again." And I'm like, "Look, I swapped the modem in it with another modem and it works. So we need to send a replacement." And he comes back with it. He's like, "How did you replace the modem? The modem is internal on that laptop." I'm like, "We removed the bottom access panel, took the 2 screws out of the modem, took it out of the slot, put the new one." He's like, "You can't do that to those laptops. You voided the warranty." And he starts going into it. And so I put him on speakerphone so my boss could hear, and he's just laughing. And I'm like, "Okay, so now that you've said all that, we're the authorized repair depot for this area. So how is the warranty void on this?" He's like, "Oh, I think maybe you called the wrong line." I'm like, "Okay, guess you're right. Good job, buddy." Well, it's 6:02.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does ring the bell of another episode of What's 3D Printing Under Our Belt. I mean, it's not 3D printing under our belts, but the episode is under our belts. Yeah, now that Dave from Printed Solid is here, it's time to end the stream. Plus, my back really needs a break from being in this chair. I need a good chair for this table. So I'm either gonna have to lower the table or I'm gonna have to get a good tall chair because it's absolutely killing my back. But oh, I was reading the chat. Sorry. So I guess this is the point where I say to you guys that we want to thank each and every one of you guys for showing up to yet another fantastic Sunday stream.
Oh, we forgot to say, hey, Coke, we're looking for sponsors. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I did ask for Rock Auto sponsorship. And they're breaking ground on our White Castle in like 2 weeks. So it got set back because of COVID, but like 2 weeks breaking ground, White Castle. There it is for the stream.
Since we have Printed Solid chat right now, I'm just going to give the shout out to the Jesse PLA Beige 500, which is the color you need if you're going to print anything that's supposed to look like a retro computer. So I couldn't. They don't ship to Canada, so I ordered 2 rolls of this. Got it delivered to Chris Riley. Then Chris Riley shipped it to me. And by the time we were done, it cost me thrice the price of just buying it directly from Printed Solid. Next time, I'm just going to drive there to get it. Except for the border's closed.
So that's it. That's all you got?
That's it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you each and every one of you guys for showing up. We appreciate you guys being here. These streams would not make any sense to do if it wasn't for you. And really, it would just be James and I in a private chat
Probably talking about politics. Jake, show me a Coke Zero.
I will definitely buy you one the next time that we are in the same room together. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for showing up. We will do it again next Sunday, God willing, and the creeks don't rise. I don't really have anything to plug. Again,
I guess that arcade cabinet that I'm working on is the only thing I had to plug, which is, I think it'll be next week's video because I want to do a proper filming and walkthrough. I don't want to rush through it, so we'll see.
I will have a MakerBox video coming up. We would have shot it this weekend, but again, Xander was out of town, and I don't really want to do it without him. I much prefer torturing him and making him do them with me. So
I like that video where you social distantly hit him in the face with candy.
Oh yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah,
I turned that into a GIF.
I love abusing my kids, but only in the most loving ways. So, but thank you guys. We invite you guys back next week. If you're going to show up, please invite a friend. We could definitely use a few more watchers. I need to meet some new people. Mainly, if I'm going to pull myself off of social media, I won't be able to do it anymore. I'm going to need you guys to spread the word about how awesome these streams are. If you have anything that you specifically want topic, send it to me. We'll talk about it. Or you can just throw in the chat. I guess that works too. Otherwise, I don't have anything. Thank you guys for being here. We love each and every one of you. And as always,
print on.